We live. We live. As you know, if you are watching the playback, scroll about a couple minutes because I got to do my audio checks and things, and you don't need to watch all of that unless you want to just see your boy get ready on his setup. What button that is that? No, I think I'm good with that. Good with that. All right, let me get comfortable. Let me make sure we good on the sources. We're gonna talk about this. This is gonna be what we're talking about. But let me make sure everybody's in, everybody's good. Let me twist this. Let me make sure my audio's coming through clear. What's happening, TikTok folks? One of my little braids at the top my locks at the top is kind of bulging. Oh, that way or something. Somewhat better. Oh, that way. Oh, whatever. All right. So, give them a little checks out the way. I look cool, you know what I'm saying? I'm good, y'all. Y'all think I'm good? I think I'm good. All right. I'm going to scoot y'all this way slightly. You know what? I didn't change my banner. So some of y'all are going to see me real quickly hop up in here and change this banner out in my Photoshop. We're going to call this Slave Ship genealogy tracing faked. I don't know if it's faked yet. Genealogy tracing, we'll say, comma, is it real or is it fake? That's what we're going to go with today. All right, let me say this real quick. Toss this in to get that Chikora shit off the background. All right. We'll call it, what would I say this is? Slave ship. All right, we're good there. I don't need to save that. And let me just toss this in here real quick for the folks. Right. Back. I think it's back one more. Slave ship PNG. There we go. Okay, we good. All right. Your boy got to be professional with it, okay? Y'all really couldn't see it on YouTube, all the little whatever I was doing, but they did in TikTok land and Twitter land. You didn't see it either. So let me just double check to make sure my audio is good, and we're going to start talking about what I have here on the screen. I'm going to show y'all kind of what I have here on the screen. Make sure my TikTok folks can see that. Let me go like that. That way y'all can see a little bit more of the screen now. TikTok. Let me just check on my YouTube real quick. Don't nobody be watching me on the YouTube, but it's a good place for me to check my audio levels. Okay, audio levels seem decent. Let me go. Yeah, audio levels is good, and let me make sure the Twitter is flowing. Make sure the Twitter's going. It says I'm live. I can see me. Good. We got 6 folks. What's happening with you? 6 folks. Okay. So really, today's live is gonna be kind of laid back, kind of chill. I actually found a video. In this video, we're gonna kind of go through live, so it can be kind of boring. It's a long video, but I feel like I'm gonna be picking this video apart, and I haven't seen it yet. And I was about to watch it by myself and just, see if I could find anything interesting in there. And I said, man, the way that they talking about stuff, man, like I could probably go live and talk about this, and we can all watch it together, or people will watch it in the playback as well. So I got to get used to looking at the camera. I know y'all probably get tired of me looking down like this, and I'm just looking at myself. Like, why am I looking at myself? I be telling myself that every time I go on these live streams. Why do I keep looking down here at the screen at myself? I'm gonna get used to looking into the camera, but sometimes I'm also looking down at my phone for my TikTok folks. Right now, I ain't got too many people in here. I understand there's a lot of TikTok beef going on right now, and I've been in and out of the live streams trying to get my little fill in on the what do you call it? On the energy. I ain't being part of the discussion though. I ain't angry with nobody. But all right. So let me make sure there we go. Can't let that hide behind my damn hair. My damn mic. All right. So we about to talk about this, man. Okay, so this first of all, what prompted today's live stream was this right here. And I might switch where my box is at so my TikTok folks can see me a little bit better. We'll do right here for right now. Okay. So I made a post, and the post was about how for those who haven't seen it, I'm not gonna play.
You just step back from the animal. You realize it's against.
I'm gonna show the post.
Okay, quick.
So this particular post talks about how if you cannot tie yourself to a slave ship, then you're not going to be able to really tie yourself to Africa hardly. And it's very hard to tie yourself to a slave ship. There's a lot of people that keep saying that they tied themselves to a ship, but nobody brings proof. You know why? Because there isn't much proof. In fact, we can start off by debunking that for a second. As I show on here, I don't want to I actually do have all the
I'm not going to tell you the truth.
I have all the receipts on this video, so I can just zoom in. So this is a census.gov website. See that? I ain't gonna never bullshit you, okay? Census.gov. Says showing love, fam. Keep the grind going. Appreciate that, Bug. Bug got it, bro. Bug got it, Brown. Bugatti Brown? I think it's Bugatti Brown. that's what's up. Yeah, I got it. Took me a second. Says we got to get you streaming on TikTok too, my guy. Oh yeah, I'm streaming on TikTok right now. I'm using my phone to stream on TikTok. You can see it right here. And I'm also streaming on Twitter and YouTube right now simultaneously. But I appreciate y'all. Okay. And what's up with your TikTok fan? What's up, Twin? Appreciate y'all liking the live. Who else up in here saying anything? Any people coming in and out. What's up, OG American? He said exactly. He said you be feeling yourself. Yeah, I gotta look fresh. You know what I'm saying? The ladies might be coming in and out the live stream. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta make sure if they come in and out, the visuals are appealing for them. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, have you did a video on hoodoo? Nah, it's not. It hasn't really been up my alley, hoodoo. But I hear a lot about it. Probably because the culture really didn't make its way. I was really more Midwest, if you will. So a lot of the culture really ain't part of me. But okay, so what I was getting to is that I started off this video showing that on the census records, they say that, hey, most of the censuses and any documents, because it tell you the censuses were burned from the British from the War of 1812, 1790, and 1800, right? So not just those documents that were produced that year was burned, in my opinion. Whatever the hell else was in those, let me get my little straight. Whatever the hell else was in there was burned along with it, which would have likely been other records, because one would look at that and believe that they just came in there, seen a pile of censuses there and set that bitch on fire. No, I'm sure, because if you look up, there was a lot of great fires in many cities all throughout the United States, especially getting rid of those old world buildings, but we ain't on that topic today. But that's what you would typically see is a lot of these fires. So here we have an account from census letting us know. Now, why is that important? Because if you're trying to find documents of being enslaved or coming from Africa prior to then, it's going to be hard. Why is it going to be hard to find documents prior to 1790, 1800, and 1810? Well, let me show.
So it's okay. Quick.
Let me show you on here. Right here.
Purchase didn't send them to the West yet to count the people that they count later. Like you're just gonna write it on.
I got this document. I wonder if I got it quickly to access real quick. It's probably easy in my. You know what? I can find it. I know how to find all these documents. I don't know why I'm bullshitting. Importations. Where you at? There's one of them, but that's just a little clip of it. That's another oh, here it goes. Okay, so why is that important? Well, this is also from census.gov, okay, another document. So I'm not bullshitting you. So far, it's 2 government sources that we looking at, okay? And this is the slave population schedule document from the census records from 1790 to 1850 is what this document is, a cumulative census record study or whatever about. So why is that important? Because I just showed you all the records prior to 1790, 1800, and 1810 were burned, right? And then all of a sudden, boop, we got all the 1790 and above stuff, right? Okay, you with me? But then they say, hey, now even though those records from 1790 and prior were likely burned by somebody, we don't know who, the British or whoever, right? We still gonna let you know that we got records somewhere. It doesn't never really listed on this document of importations coming in between 1715 to 1808, and that's where you get your 300-something thousand number from. Okay, now I believe they just got that from this document, and as you can see, these are zeroed out numbers. Meaning nobody counted a fuck thing, okay? They stopped exactly at 30,000. 30,000? We got 30,000 niggas here? Okay, we good. No more. Next year we'll do 90,000. Okay? Fuck out of here. Okay? That's not how it works. Okay? Let me move this one over to, so that way when I go over, it could mess up kind of my YouTube kind of whatever. But okay. So we know that these numbers are not really correct. On top of that, these numbers include people who came over from the British West Indies, okay, exported to the colonies. You see that? Let's see if I can highlight it for y'all. The British West Indies exported to the colonies. Almost not 300 per year, 1,392. And that was back from 1783 to 1787. Now, again, I'm going to show y'all, they don't have slave ship manifest to be able to approve this. And I'm going to show you. We're going to look in the National Archive records for slave ship manifest government websites. Okay? That's what we're going to be looking at. Let me see if anybody else done flowed up in here. What's up, Itwa Mingo? I'm going to just say Mingo because I'll probably be saying that first word wrong. What up, Mingo? All right, y'all. So as we've kind of got the idea, records between these years, let me go back. Records between these years were burned, right? According to them niggas, right? According to the same department. Okay, hold up.
18.
According to the same damn department, census.gov, records were burned, my face in the way, okay? So we know that, okay, there's a little game being played. But
okay, quick. Okay, quick.
There are
okay, quick break.
Ship, my bad, y'all, because y'all can probably hear that. There are, I'm going to just go to the website. slave ship manifest. You know how easy it is to find? It ain't super easy to find and understand, but it's decently easy. So watch. Slave ship manifest. And then you got results. Now, how do you know which ones are the right results? It's not as easy, so to speak. But we're going to go to this. You can find it through the National Archives .gov site, which is a little annoying to go and get through. But I typically go right here to Ancestry.com, United States, coastwise, southeast, inward and outward slave manifest. Why do I do that? Because I'll show you. This is provided in association with the National Archive Records and Association. Okay, so I'm still on the .gov thing. It's gonna take me to the .gov, and I'm gonna show you because right now I'm on Ancestry.com, right? Now, when you go down on this right-hand side, you have a list, a drop-down window, and you have options. See if I can get that a little bigger for y'all. Maybe not. You have options. All of these options except one are intracontinental. Okay, so let's first, what's going on, Mocha? That's me. Hi, Lito. Vince Dodson, what's happening with you? That's the credit doctor right there, y'all. Major credit, major in the credit repair game. He sues creditors, and he wears the shirt and will prove that shit and will sue the hell out your creditors. But okay. So slave ship manifest, okay? Well, here we are. Here we go. All of these are intracontinental except one. What is intracontinental? Going from like Alabama to New York, from Savannah to fucking Texas or some shit, okay? This one right here that I just pointed at, that I just highlighted, forward inward slave manifest, is where you want to go. Now, when you click on it, notice it tells you what years they have. Already, we're missing a huge chunk of information, right? Already we missing a whole lot of shit. 17, come on now. You know what I'm saying? Let me move this over for my TikTok folks. Or you know what? I know, so I don't mess that up. Let me move it this way for my TikTok folks. Yeah. I don't know why this didn't do that before. So let me get a good, so 1798 to 1798. Or 1789 to 1798. Well, remember, they're reporting people coming in this bitch between 1715 to 1808. So I need documents from them years. But we already see there's a huge chunk missing, right? Okay, well, let's just see what they got. Okay, let's just see what they got. So you come in here. Whoops. Oh, just in contrast, since I accidentally clicked on it, when you click on Savannah, Georgia, look how many options show up. Look how many slave ship manifests they actually have. And each one of the intracontinentals, which are all done in years after 1808, after the importation of slaves were banned, are listed here. But when you go to the foreign, it's like, I don't know, we ain't got much information. But niggas came, just know they came some time ago. We just ain't got the records. But let's click to see what records they do got. When you do click it, as you will see, I am in, you may not be able to tell. Let's see if I can get close. It won't let me zoom in on the bottom. On the bottom right, on the bottom left-hand corner here, it's hard to see. But on the bottom left-hand corner, it says National Archive Records and Administration. You're just going to have to believe me, although it says Ancestry.com at the top. But this is directly from the National Archives Records, okay? Well, first things first, you see a slave ship manifest. This is what you want to see. You want visual proof that, hey, yes, these people came from Africa, right? Now, already looking at this document, you should already start thinking, it's not a whole lot of writing on this document. If it's supposed to be a bunch of names and all this other stuff, shouldn't it be a little bit more information? Well, let's zoom in to see what we got. Now, first of all, let's see what type of ship this is. This is a schooner Dolphin. What is a schooner? Okay. The capacity, I'll show you first what a schooner ship. Schooner boats. These These are schooner boats. These little small things right here, they ain't too big. These are your schooners, okay? Easy to find, easy to see. And the Clotilda, just to prove it to you, the fake Clotilda slave ship. They make a fake, excuse me. They make a fake rendering of it, which looks exactly like what? The schooners I just showed you. And they say that they put the slaves, let me do this. They say they put the slaves down there at the bottom, naked and unclothed, okay? That's how they say they did it, but these was the type of ships. So let's already establish that in 1789, schooners were still being used, okay? Not brigantines. We're going to see if any brigantines show up. Brigantines are a little bit bigger. We're going to see if any other bigger boats show up. But right now, we're looking at a schooner, okay? Y'all getting the breakdown. And the Dolphin is the name of the boat. So whoever the captain, which the captain's name should be on here, Gilbert, Mr. Gilbert Thuller or whatever, he would have named the boat probably the Dolphin, or whoever invested into the boat, whatever. Because sometimes people will be the investor into the boat and they just hire them, somebody to pilot the boat. But it says, where are they coming from? It says it's coming from Gori, Africa. It actually says it. We actually have a document of a schooner boat, which is still kind of hard to conceive. You just seen how that boat looked. But we have a document from them coming and landing in the state of Rhode Island. Okay. Now, do we have any information on what was on that boat? Yes. Slaves. 40 small males and females. We don't have a color. We don't have a race. We don't have anything. Male and female slaves. Now get that. I guess we're just supposed to assume that they're black because they come from Africa and forget about all the Afrikaners. But, hey, whatever. So, as we go back down, you got 40 slaves. You also got 2 slaves, 1 man, other girl. Okay. No information. It says right here, to whom was shipped, who shipped the person off, where are they going, right? And to whom. Now, this says they're going to Savannah, Georgia. The other one said they was going to Rhode Island. To whom consigned, where defined, whatever. Port or place where laden in Gori, Isle of Gori, okay? So, it also says they have 3 slaves, 2 women, and a girl, 1 slave, 1 man slave, 1 girl slave, 1 boy slave. So, in a sense, people will try to tell you that, hey, because we were cattle or we were cargo, that's why you're not going to find your ancestors. And to a degree, they're not completely wrong, but they didn't list the people as cargo. They listed people as slaves. Now, you're not going to find the name of these people on some of these, at least on these. Now, you will on the intracontinental. So don't let these people play you. You will on some, but you won't on a lot of them. And on some of them you might find, but we'll go through. But before we get off this slave manifest, I just want you to realize there's only about 40 to 50, or not to 40 to 50, because it started off with 40, but close to 50, or about 50 slaves on the boat. Well, you know what? Schooner boat capacity. Schooner boat capacity. I don't know why I did that. People capacity. Okay, a schooner's passenger capacity is between 12 to a little over 100 people. Okay, for smaller vessels, it depends on the size of the schooners. As you can see, you have an array of sizes of schooners. But as you can see, even with the large passenger capacity, even with the large, is about 100. So why am I showing this? That means whoever shipped over these so-called slaves was well within capacity. So I won't say that, let me brighten this up. So I won't say that, a little bright. So I won't say, I love that clicked aperture, but so I won't say that some slave ship manifests aren't correct. You do have some listed within the correct weight capacity for what it's supposed to hold. Now you still think, did they have, enough food on there? Where did they piss and shit and all this other stuff? That's another story. But at least we have a slave ship manifest that resembles something of a correct capacity. And I'm going into that because 200 to 300 to 400 people being shipped over on boats is asinine. Okay? We're looking at 1789 manifest, and they're still bringing over schooners. Okay? But let's go to another thing I want us to notice is I just showed y'all the slave ship manifest, right? Let me see if I can show you big. It's hard to see, and it's not blowing it up right here. But right here at the bottom, for those if you can see me in the bottom middle, it says 1 through 36. What does that mean? That means there's a whopping 36 slave ship manifest images between 1789 to 1798. 36 is very small to if you shipped over 30,000 people. In fact, you're gonna for that, especially at these rates. Let's give them 100. Let's give them 100 people per ship. Okay, let's give them 100 people per ship. For 333,000 people to come over, I'm gonna need 3,330 goddamn slave ship manifest documents in the National Archive records. Okay, more or less, whichever one you want to go with. Right? Maybe they threw a few brigantines in or something, but that's what I'm showing. That's what you would need. But they have 36 images. And as we can see, and I'll take you through a couple more images. I ain't going to go through all 36. This is an image. It's not even a whole manifest. It's the back of the manifest. So 35. Okay? Let's go to the next. This is like some kind of, it's a handwritten manifest. I'd have to read down. Now this one says 133 new Negroes. What kind of boat is this? On a schooner. Well over its capacity on this handwritten document that's not as official as the one with the printed shit and all the other things. But hey, we're going to go with it. We're going to go with it. They got signatures and shit on this bitch. But we're going to go with it. They wrote it down back then that they were bringing over 133 people on a schooner. I wish I could turn this around. I know y'all see it upside down. Well, no. Oh, well. So on a schooner, 10 something, 2 something, something. So 133 Negroes on this one. So we're up a little bit, okay? Are we gonna hit that 333,000 number? We might clip it. We might clip it. We've got another back of a document. Now, it must be the back of that handwritten bullshit, okay? So we're down again, okay? We got another ship. Now, this one is an official manifest document. And it says it's coming from Gambia on the on the westward coast of Africa. Coming from the Gambia on the westward coast of Africa, and they're landing in, that look like it's saying McLeod. Huh. It don't say where they're landing. Oh, bound to Savannah. My bad, because it's actually printed on there. Bound to Savannah. Okay, Savannah, Georgia. 64 slaves and 21 hides. So 64 slaves. They're clipping their number within capacity. Now it's funny, on the actual slave ship manifest that looks like some official shit that ain't just drawn on, they're tending to stay within capacity of the ship. You better, if you want to live, okay? You better stay on capacity, nigga, if you don't want that bitch to sink. But, you know, we could go through others, but again, we got backs of pages. So I bet like every other page is like a slave ship manifest. This is a torn up slave ship manifest, kind of slaved over. 62 new Negroes coming from, again, no names. So if anybody's telling you, I tied my name of my ancestor back to a slave ship, you got to ask them, how you tie your name back to that shit right there? Which one of the 60 is it? How did you identify the 60? Are you bullshitting me, or do you have something I ain't seen? Because this is in the National Archives records. Quit bullshit, okay? Quit with the bullshit. What up, Shinobi Kid? Creed? Shine, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, what's up, Shine? Now, you see, when y'all be changing y'all's names, then I be forgetting the first names. Sunshine. See, I'm one of my favorite guests. Sean 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna just call you Shine. I can't believe we never questioned the math. Exactly, or ever looked at the proof to see how much math was even gonna math with the proof. I'll take some I'll take still sunshine. That's what's up. I'll take some. I'll take some form of missing information. You know, giving it like, okay, this was back in the day, but the whole damn 330 some thousand, we about to just barely clip a few hundred. You know what I'm saying? And we gonna get through damn near a fourth of these documents. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's never gonna math, especially through proof. So I'm not gonna go through the rest of these, but I've shown you how to get to them, so you can try to get there yourself and take a look at these documents as well. But I'm beating the dead horse to let you know you really can't tie yourself back. And even if you could, they burnt
When
the
you look up
documents between the years that they said that people came over. Now, how do we know it wasn't them coming over? Well, you can say some of those said Negroes and some of them didn't. Well, maybe it was all Negroes. I'll give them, hey, it was all Negroes on the 36 images, which half of that. So the 18 images that they had, you know, of likely slave ship manifest, I'll give them Africans if they want that, right? But we're still missing a big, huge part of the pot within these years, okay? So what we're going to get to today is we're actually going to watch a video, and we're going to kind of pick it apart. May put some of y'all to sleep. I don't think it will. It's like a panel discussion, and I have not watched the video myself, so I really can't tell you. I can tell you what it's about, and I'm going to tell you how I found it and why I'm going to pick it apart. But so today, let me get off of here. On my Twitter, a guy, it was funny, I posted about the subject let me lighten this up. I posted, it's a little bright. It's like the sun keeps going up and down or being hidden by the clouds, not up and down. The sun's popping out of my ass. But the sun keeps going in and out from the clouds or whatever, keeps messing with the lighting. Okay, but so I posted about that, and that's kind of making its ways on Twitter right now. It's probably over a few thousand views as of, and I just posted it this morning. Somebody under that, and they stupid ass, they was like, "Hey Grok, are there any instances where African Americans were able to trace their family line from slavery to Africa. I said, I'm curious about that too. Let me put that back over there. I'm curious about that too. And let's see what Grok had to say. Now, Grok says, yes, while pre-slavery paper trails are rare due to deliberate record destruction, in my video, I told this nigga, knowing that he didn't even watch the video. Y'all know these trolls don't watch the video. They just read the headline and get emotional in post, and comment. But didn't I just show y'all the records were destroyed? So if the records are destroyed, you can't tell me what the hell happened, right? How you gonna keep up a slave ship story and add it in on the slave ship census record in 1860 that was the cumulative from 1790 to 1850? And you're going to tell me these people came in there in that time knowing good and damn well that the records were destroyed. But that's why I said that earlier. The same department that's telling us, it don't make no damn sense. But anyway, that the records were destroyed are the same departments saying that people was imported during that time too. It says, yes, the deliberate record destruction and anonymous manifest. Now, what does that mean? Anonymous manifest, maybe like that one that was way over capacity, that 133 person schooner. That looked pretty goddamn anonymous. But okay. Some African Americans, I hate that. Some African Americans have traced lineages back to Africa using DNA matches, right? Ship records. I wonder how they did that. We just kind of looked through some ship records. I could go through the rest of them, but I can guarantee you I already have, and they all look like that. Well, except for the intracontinental. Let me just show y'all real fast the intracontinental so you know the difference. Okay, so that was that foreign. Now we're gonna choose Mobile, Alabama. Notice all the years they got. They got plenty of data. When you click on them, how many manifests are in here? 574 manifest in that one hyperlink. Okay, moving niggas around the United States, not away from the United States, you asses. But okay. We'll ignore that huge number. Okay, I wish I could show y'all. It's down here for those who want to zoom in. For those who want to zoom in on the video, let me see if I can do that on my. I can show y'all on my TikTok. It'll let me zoom in. Let me see. It let me zoom in, but it won't let me scroll up. Let me get it back to regular. I'm about to mess it up. All right, whatever. You'll just have to take my word on it, but if you can zoom in there, it says 574 manifest in this one hyperlink, and there was like 12 hyperlinks. So for those people that say that it's impossible for them to have record, they can have plenty of records if they wanted to. They didn't just get manifest happy all of a sudden. They'll try to make you think it because coincidentally, when they burnt the documents, slave ship importation ban year. It was 1808 where they banned the importation of slaves. They said, hey, quit bringing people from outside the United States, right? But at the same time, slave ship manifest requirements date. I said that wrong. Manifest requirements to date around the same year. They said, hey, we need y'all to start writing this shit down, okay? And we need everybody to do it. Every ship that comes to this port. Now, prior to here, we didn't give a damn, you know? We didn't give a damn, and we burnt the shit. We didn't give a damn, and we burnt the shit we didn't give a damn about, okay? That's just white logic. You know what I'm saying? But either way, people say they can trace their information. They lying. But okay. And when you go to these slave ship manifests, you'll have a page like this sometimes, but let's go forward. You have names. Okay, let me pull it up for you. You have names. Okay? Male, female, whether look, color or class. I'm still trying to figure that out my damn self. What is a yellow color or class? I'm not gonna believe them when I try to pull up the information to kind of get, oh, it could be race or, get the fuck out of here. What's up, Nikki? Looking down. What's happening, Nikki? What's up, CJ, Chief EJ Smoker? What's up, Johnny Trash? Must me facts because it's typed out. Well, I don't want to say what's up to Johnny Trash. Yeah, he could be talking trash, and I ain't got the. Now you might be cool. We'll see what you comment later. But all right, so we have names. We have class or color. We have black, yellow, a lot of yellow class. What's the name of the yellow person? George. Is that an Asian name? No, it don't have an Asian ring to it to me. Okay, I don't think I'm not catching the Asian ancestry in the name, but so that means this yellow must mean something else than race. Plus, yellow is not really a race, or it didn't even say race, color. It just says color or class. So yellow could be yellow bone. Yellow could be a class, whatever yellow class. Let's see if we'll get lucky. What does color or class mean on the slave ship manifest inwards? Intracontinental. Say intra. Let's see if it can answer the question. On intracontinental slave ship manifest, the term color and class were dehumanizing descriptions used to categorize and assign value to enslaved people, primarily in the domestic American slave trade. Okay. It says the term color referred to the enslaved person's complexion, but why would you put it in the same column as class? But it's like you're trying to confuse a nigga. It says, and indicated the degree of perceived African ancestry. This information was, how is yellow a degree of African ancestry? Okay, I get it, yellow bone, y'all get what I'm saying, but come on, we got yellow bones pop out from somebody that ain't never even been from. I don't know, man. Let me keep going. This information was used to determine their value. Never been. What I was going to do to finish that sentence, we got yellow bones in our culture that's never even been with anybody YT. So it's perfectly idiotic to say that yellow would even be some type of color or class. It said a very intelligent approach dissecting documentation and facts and logic. Appreciate that, unspoken one. Appreciate that. Okay. So it says this information was used to determine the value of the domestic slave market. It says categorization. Manifest categorize individuals using terms like black, yellow, brown, and copper. And I've seen copper too. It says significance. These varying designations indicated that some enslaved people were of mixed race. Just because you got a color does not make you mixed. Look, y'all see my color, right? You see me. Well, and my dad's pretty damn light skinned. My mom's more dark. You can see my mom right there. She's of a darker hue. My grandma is of my hue. Do we have a photo of her in here? I got one actually right here of my amazing Grammy. Let me show the Twitter world. Show the people my Grammy, my granny. Let me show the TikTokers out here, and as you can see, I'm her same color. Okay, I am. I'm doing it from that little small window. Let me do it like this. I am her color, okay? Now, in here, you'll see my grandpa. He's of a dark hue. And you're going to get varying shades from two regular niggas, okay? And from that point, you get varying shades, whole family on the back of varying shades, okay? But as you see, that's her. Now the offspring, let me show you the offspring. Because they had two daughters, my mom and my mom's sister. Let me see if there's a big enough picture of my mom's sister on here. My aunt. Yeah, but you can't tell the color there. Okay. So, let me lower this light real quick so y'all can see it. Okay. Whoops. This one in this, oops, come down. Goodness, trying to do this is harder than I thought. Man, I'm going the wrong way. Okay, right here. Okay, my granny's in the middle in this purple shirt. My mom's on this side of a darker hue. My aunt is lighter than everybody else in the family, okay? Damn near a white-skinned person. Put it a little bit over so people from TikTok can see it. Let me show the TikTokers real quick. Okay? They can see it a whole lot better. So that's my grandma. That's my mom. That's her little sister. Same family. And the dad, my grandpa was darker. Okay? So that just goes to show the shades of our people will be varied. Because we're not some homogenous fucking race of people like the rest of y'all. The rest of y'all come out with the same skin color. The rest of y'all, like Asians, come out with that same look, okay? Look like a goddamn, a place full of just clones all over the place. I'm not talking shit. Much love out to the Asians. But y'all look the same. Very, very close. I don't want to say all look the same. We have different varying shades. Now, YT has some various shades. Y'all do have some various shades too, don't get me wrong. There are some dark skin looking, like Vietnamese or dark skin, blah, 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 right? They got some various shades. But when you get to those, once you've gotten to that far end of the spectrum, YT, you ain't making nothing else. How you think you gonna make something else without getting with somebody darker? Anyway, let me get off the tangent. So, I was saying all that to say, utilizing yellow, brown, copper, and black to determine the degree of whiteness inside of you is asinine. That's what I was saying that all for. I know I went on a little tangent. But it's the most asinine thing in this world, knowing good and well they would have looked at me and said, copper. He has a degree of white. Oh, that's what I was going to show. In my ancestry, on my tree, most of these people are black. Okay? All these people you see on this screen right here are black. You don't start getting white folks until possibly some lines, one or two possible, and that wasn't a white person mixed in. That's supposed to be I'm still confused about that, actually. I don't even want to mention what that's supposed to be. I'm still confused about that one. But T. Christian Love, Thomas Love, is supposed to be a YT man. But all these other people around him black. Okay? And I also feel like he just kind of married in and stole the identity because Mr. William Samuel Love became a freedman, which means his skin was black enough to be labeled as a freedman. Let me just lower this real quick. So, I'm just saying, you ain't got enough white folks in my tree to dilute me, okay? To dilute my color or my phenotype. And none of y'all will. Because people will try to say and still run with this whole bullshit that 20%, everybody has 20% of the African DNA. I mean, not African, 20% European DNA. And that's bullshit. That means 20% of your damn tree almost would be full of white folks. You're not gonna find. I'm not finding white folks in all these extra lines. I have over 200 people, a little over close to 200 people. I think it's like 197 on this tree or something like that. And white folks aren't just there like that, married in at all. Really, I'm still looking. Whoops, why ain't it going forward? Yeah, no. So utilizing it to do, whatever. Okay, so the significance of the variant designations indicated that some enslaved people were of mixed race, reflecting the widespread sexual violence and exploitations of enslaved women. That's propaganda. There wasn't widespread sexual violence of enslaved women. That's what they want y'all to think, man. And you want to know? Because let me prove that to you real quick. How do I know everybody ain't mixed with a white person? Let me prove that to you with the same census document. With the same goddamn census document. Let me prove that to you real quick. That should pull it up. Oh, you know what? I know what I can type in. Mulatto. Right there. Not that one, but where you at? Here it goes. Okay. Let me just prove to y'all through the same census document, through the censusrec.gov website, that I'm not bullshitting. I better plug this in too before I do start bullshitting. And so if every and I can Google it because I did a video about this shit too. We'll Google the document it comes from real fast. African Americans have 20% European DNA. It's that easy. And you come down, you should see an NIH study, .gov. We've been looking at .gov sources damn near all night, okay? I ain't bullshitted you. Now the government may be bullshitting you, but I ain't do it. This is where they get the study. Now everybody else that you see after this is reciting that study. 23andMe, learn about the hidden African DNA ancestry. On average, between 20 to 25%. Now, they're not going off of their records. They're going off of said study. Same thing with science.org. Genetic study reveals that surprising ancestry of many Americans. The African American genome, for example, is nearly a quarter European. Well, where are they backing this up off of? Off of this study right here. Now, how many people were tested in this study? That's like close to 50 million of us, something like that, 40 something. 5,269 self-described African Americans were tested. That could be anybody. It could be mixed niggas, people just claiming to be African American, who knows? Plus, does 5,269 blanket the whole 50 million with whatever the hell they came up in their genome? No, obviously it doesn't. But they'll go down and they do their little bullshit through here, and you go through and you can read through what I have. And it's a bunch of bullshit, and I did a video about it. But this is where people are getting at. But I'm going to show you in one document how that's got to be false. Real easy. Watch. That's why. So we're going to go back to this document here, right? So this was taken, I wish it could go up, but you should be able to see. This was taken from the census.gov. One column right here is for blacks. This column is for mulattoes. Total. You also have another one, blacks, mulattoes, total, blacks, mulattoes. Okay, let's just go to the grand total. How many blacks and mulattoes total were there in 1850? There were 3.2 million And that's not including the free people. Blacks, I don't think it is because there's the free blacks over there, 273,000. Oh no, it is because it was 2.957 million. Okay, whatever. So yeah, 3.2 million blacks and 405,000 mulattoes. Now think about this. This was taken during a time where people looked at people and just like that shit I just showed you, assigned you what they thought you was. You look like a mulatto. You look like your average nigga. Okay? You either got one or two boxes. And they playing games. But 405,000 mulattoes by 1870 means that if you don't find people in your tree of white ancestry past 1870, which that would be easy because by then they were doing the census, and so their census records going all the way back to that time, then you should be showing that. You're not going to find, at this time we didn't have 20%. At this time, barely not even a fourth, barely an eighth of us had some kind of mixture based upon just lookership. We still don't know because they could have looked at me and said I had a mixture, right? Because we just saw that that's what they base these things off of. And we know that too because nobody had DNA testing back then. Wasn't nobody going around pricking nigga, getting spit from everybody. You know what I'm saying? So the only way they can tie this is if anybody admitted that they had some white people DNA up in them. Or by lookership. And when they looked, they did not see 20% European DNA amongst all these folks. But yet that is the running talking point that frustrates me. The running talking point. What's up, y'all? If she's in here, I think it said invite her up or invite her to the live. She might not be in here. Dr. Adams saying for me, shine beautiful ladies. Sentient Survivor, what's up? He said facts. Nigga said, yeah, a white person showed up in my line at my second time, 2 times. And that's just one. Nigga said a white person showed up in her line. And that's just one. Somebody said, tell the truth, on code. Appreciate that. Yeah. So, oh, she is in here. What's up, y'all? Always good to see you. So so we know for a fact that they're lying about us having 20% European DNA unless they somehow starting to count those black Europeans. But I don't even think there was 20% of us that had that mixed in. The whole thing about people having admixture pisses me off just in general. Let me just first of all say that you don't know who the fuck is admixed until you've done the genealogy records to figure out who the fuck is in your shit. And to just say everybody's mixed, there's no pure nothing, you don't know, okay? That could be somebody out here, there's plenty of them out here that ain't never fucked with any of them weirdos or other people. Because obviously we some of the only ones that won't do it all the time, you know what I'm saying? We still holding on to our cultural pride over here in America, nigga, and we don't want to be like nobody but us, okay? And you got a few sellouts that go dancing with the other folks. They'll get their motherfucking, they'll have their time. They'll figure it out, whatever. But let me get off my little tangent. So this shows that yeah, we are not able to, we do not have 20% DNA. Unless it popped up between 1870 after that, them niggas been lying. And y'all know they be lying. They'll come up with any study, and I'm just supposed to believe there's one study with 5,000 people, which trumps the whole census records from people looking at niggas. People are looking at niggas and marking shit and saying, yeah, you a normal nigga. I'm supposed to believe this bullshit. That's the shit it just be annoying me, man. So, okay. Hold on, let me text one of my workers. Okay. What's up, Hitch? What's up, CR the Great? People up in the place, man. The fam's up in here. So yeah, man. So Let me put this like this so y'all can see that a little bit better in TikTok world. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so yeah. The crazy thing is, this is what they try to do. This is, in my opinion, this is rewriting history. This is how you rewrite history. You knew that there was so many mulattoes according to records, and then somebody said, let's do a DNA study to figure this out. Yeah. We're gonna get a panel, and then we'll test them, and then we'll just have a good idea what's really going on with the people as a whole. If you don't get your bitch ass out of here, okay? Shit is so crazy to me that this is, and how do you rewrite history? You need doctors. You need official government sources. Even though they're doing erroneous bullshit, that's what you need. You need labels. People going to school and telling you, I got my label, I'm a doctor. I'm a doctorate. I'm educated. La, la, la. You know, whatever, man. Okay. All right. So on to whatever the hell else I was talking about. So the main thing I was talking, going back, let me pull that back up. The reason why I even got on this whole, I'm on the internet. I'm like, where the hell, this ain't my damn photographs? The main reason why I got on here today, and we're still gonna watch a video, and it's pretty long, so you know, be prepared to have smoke breaks and come in and out. But it was because of this, because you got a guy that asked Grok. So technically, I'm doing this live stream as a debunking to debunk Grok. Trying to say it in some other kind of fashion. I don't know what the hell I was trying to say. Too much weed. But Grok. Okay, so Grok tried to say that, we already read part of this. Ship records. Okay, we'll start it over. But it says, yes, let me pull it back up. It says, yes. Put it right there for y'all. While pre-slavery paper trails are rare due to deliberate record destruction and anonymous manifests, which I already showed they were destroyed by the census.gov website, right? Some African Americans have traced lineages back to Africa using DNA matches, ship records, which we just looked at ship records. We also looked at a DNA match, at least a panel where they bullshit us, but regardless, all that government records. And then it says, linked enslaved ancestors to specific Senegambian origins via family tree DNA and slave trade databases. It says projects like the 10 million. Oh, no. You know what? I skipped something. Hold on. Right here. Genealogist Darius Brown, for example, linked enslaved ancestors to specific Senegambian origins via family tree DNA and slave trade database. So, you know me, I said, who the hell is Darius Brown? Hold up. Goodness, my bad, y'all. I was trying to do it for dramatic effect, right? Be quiet. This is Darius Brown, y'all. Darius Brown is one of the people who traces. You talk about this high school ass nigga? This nigga look like he ain't never read a book in his life, okay? But McGraw-Hill, you better get the fuck out of here. This is the video we gonna be watching today. Get out of here with the fuckery. And I'll show y'all this is Darius Brown. Got his goddamn name right there. I said, if these niggas don't quit playing with me. Grok was able to find this nigga? And Grok can't find my research, nigga? I did my ancestry tree, nigga. It's all right here in the ancestry records. You ain't find my shit, but you done found Darius? Who the fuck put this shit in here? That's gotta be recent. That shit is crazy. Hold on, what y'all saying? He said, so they didn't really match a person living today. They got to take it. That's what it sounds like. We're going to go through here. Now, I'm going to see if he talks about his testimony on how he possibly I don't know if he's going to go into that because I haven't watched this video, but I'm hoping he's going to go into how he so-called traced his ancestry. And you know what? Come to find out, he's Geechee. And you know I got a lot of information on the Geechees. That's what made me want to go live. I said, oh, you Geechee, huh? Is this another rewriting of history via AI right now, utilizing some modern day, let me do my little puzzle piece thing here, utilizing some modern day patsy? That's what I'm starting to smell. But your boy on the case, that's what I'm starting to smell. That trick play, right? It's probably some more recent is. Exactly. That's what it is. That's exactly what the fuck it is. Gonna bring out this weird ass little. Look at this. Y'all can't even see him over here. Hold up. I gotta click on it so y'all can see him. Let me see where. Or is that just in the thumbnail? I want y'all to see that thumbnail. Let me see if it shows that picture anywhere in here. It showed a picture of him in the thumbnail. He looked like he was in in ninth grade and on this thumbnail. Let me go back. Yo, you can't see it. I can't. Hold on, I can blow it up. Hold on. I want y'all to see this shit. If you don't get your motherfucking ass out of here, I'm gonna zoom in for the TikTok folks. If they don't get this goddamn ninth grader the fuck out of here, this nigga can't do no goddamn genealogy. Are you kidding me, nigga? I'm still doing mine. And I'm good. I'm decent with it. You know what I'm saying? I've got a pretty decent mind and a good bite about history, a good idea of what's been going on and where to find the fakery and timelines. This nigga, the most his timeline consists of is things he tested for with bubbles, okay? He done wrote, the last thing he knew, he was scratching in bubbles on the motherfucking test. That's what he knows. Okay, let me resize this bag. This shit is ridiculous. Ridiculous, dude. And they call this nigga a geneticist too. In Grok, because that's why I looked it up. I said a geneticist, Darius Brown. Don't pump this nigga's head up like that. Okay. Let me scoot this back. Let's go back so y'all can see. Genealogist Darius Brown. How many trees could this nigga have done? How much experience doing family trees could this nigga have done to be called a genealogist? Y'all get what I'm saying? Because that's what's gonna go in the history books. And by the time people realize it, he'll be in his 30s. Known as a famous genealogist. But your boy caught you too early, bitch, nigga. Okay? Let me calm down before I get kicked off TikTok. Oh, shit. Genealogist Darius Brown, y'all. Okay, traced his people back to Senegambia origins. Okay? Finding your roots has been enabled to others to connect to African ethnic groups or even a living kin, confirming genetic ties despite historical gaps. Yeah, you're going to have to need that because there's a lot of historical gaps because you burnt the historical gaps. Okay? There wouldn't be no gap if y'all niggas wasn't bullshitting. Okay? But either way. I'm glad y'all got a good feel of that. Hopefully this video isn't boring. I wanted to give y'all a decently good presentation before I whipped out this video. Damn it. I'm trying to adjust the video screen. Y'all give me a second. Okay, we'll put it over here in the corner. We'll go back to it. Go over, see if I can raise it up. Oh, it's stuck. I got to pay attention to that because last time it did that and it kept getting stuck on me. And y'all didn't see what was going on the videos. Okay. There we go. I'm going to have to keep checking that because as I pause it, it will do that. So I I can't put this all the way off the screen. I guess about right here, but because I don't want to, let me see if I can make it a little bit smaller. So that way it's not completely covering that up. And let me just make it a little bit bigger over here so we can see it better. And then of course, I need to add one over here real quick. To the major screen, Mac OS screen capture, okay. Window capture, application capture, I think I did, yeah, Safari. Okay, we're gonna make that main screen. We're gonna make that bigger. Whoops, fucking up. Technical difficulties. Okay, let me drop that below mine so I'm on top. All right. Let me move that up like that. All right, I can live with that. I can't live with her face. No. That is not my people, okay? All right, so we're going to watch this. And we're going to see, what they talk about in this panel. The first question they talked about was pretty interesting. We're going to see what the answers are.
Darius Brown. You're on mute.
Hey, how's everybody? I'm Darius Brown. I'm from Beaufort, South Carolina. All my family's from the Low Country. I'm a research assistant for the Center of Family History, and I'm excited to be here today.
We are so glad to have all of you today.
Thank you, Darius.
What we'll do is I'm going to start the conversation off with some questions and just kind of move around through each of you in that round robin fashion. And the first one is, and this could go to any one of you, what are some common challenges faced when researching African American genealogy? If each of you will share one or two, I'll start with you, Whitney.
Put me on the hot seat first.
Yes. Well, I'm following how you show up from me.
Well, I guess one of the typical ones is that a lot of times they're...
Sorry, y'all. Sorry, YouTube world. God damn it. OBS be bullshit, y'all. OBS be bullshit. I gotta go in and redo it, reinitialize it. I'm glad I caught that before we got too far.
Not on with African American, because their first census that the enslaved are going to be on is going to be 1870. So if they were enslaved at all before the Civil War and during it, they're not going to appear on the census. So you have to be a little more creative. I like to put it in doing your researching when you're researching the Civil War time period, and know that you're looking at property records during that time, not
property records like wills, bills of sale, things of that nature. What's a bill of sale? A receipt. When the slave owner bought you, did he get a receipt with your name on it? When he gave you to somebody, did he produce a will? Or did he have another bill of receipt when he sold you to somebody else? That's kind of with the property records.
Census records and what you typically think from doing research for the closer modern age. So it's just a lot of like reminding yourself when you're researching that you have to look differently than what you.
You said somebody got the Golden Gate Bridge behind. Oh, Darius. He even got a name that sound dumb. Darius sound like somebody that just. Let me shut up. It might be some smart Darius. I might have a Darius in here right now. I'm mad at the motherfucker. Who, me? I'm just fucking with you, Darius.
Looking for someone in the 1900s.
Excellent.
Yeah, that don't make no sense. Where he say he from? He from Low Country with the Golden Gate Bridge behind him. He confused.
Point. Dr. Seal.
I think one of the challenges, there are many, of course. One challenge that we have is that we really didn't understand the importance of our.
She coming here with her soul sister voice. Well, I believe if we have many chances. Anyway, all right, lady.
So much has been lost. So much was lost in the fire when the house burned down, or
Yeah.
when someone died. It was just history was just thrown out.
Just go off your head. Just say whatever comes to your head.
We just didn't really understand the value of what we had, and so much has been lost. And I think one of the challenges now is to hurry up and quickly get those stories, those oral histories, and those records from those of us who are still here and who remember, because so much has been lost.
I'm not mad at that.
Just because we just didn't understand what.
Soul sister.
Add.
Absolutely. Great points. Lyle.
Yeah, I would add to what Dr. Seals said, the importance of contextualization. So when you have an oral history absent of a lot of primary documents.
Like the oral history that everybody says they're Indians, that oral history, we'll see.
How do you contextualize that oral history?
Yeah. Like the Indian oral history. How do we do that? We listen, okay? We listen to the people.
Your oral history plus primary documents. How do you contextualize that information? And it's just important to have a general understanding of not only American history, but the region where you're studying.
Absolutely. Darius, do you have something?
Here comes Darius.
Yes. One of the challenges is record.
Yeah, he do got to go to Gabriel's. Why did you pick something from Low Country, nigga? Why did you find some Geechee thing to put back there, nigga? It looked like a green screen. That's the best you could do?
Sometimes
You're on a completely wrong coast. Completely the wrong coast. And I'm supposed to believe this nigga traced he traced his line. Our people was over there on the West Coast, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he traced his people that far.
Throughout history. For example, during the Civil War, when Sherman was on his march to the sea, he went through the state of Columbia. He went through South Carolina and he burnt down the county buildings, and all the records for like Colleton and Beaufort County, they were in there. And so there is record loss. And so when you're dealing with African-American research, you would be dealing with deeds and mortgages and bill of sales, and all those type of records was in that courthouse that day. And so you will have record loss, and that could be a challenge when you're trying to go back further and you researching in slavery.
I ain't mad at Darius on that one. It is true. As I've shown, many records have been destroyed. Now, I was showing, actually when I showed him, it didn't say exactly which state. It just said various records were burned by the British. And it just kind of vaguely blanketed it. So he's giving kind of a anecdotal story that comprised, not anecdotal, because it happened a lot. I don't want to say it's anecdotal, but he's giving a detailed story about a particular situation. So I ain't mad at that, Darius. Let's see where this African shit come from, though.
So, and great points. And so the takeaway from all of that is there's going to be challenges, so we're going to accept that fact. And there's different ways that we have challenges. So the next thing, as far as once we find that our ancestor might have been enslaved during a certain time, where would be the first place you would suggest people to go look for more information?
That's a good question.
And all of you kind of mentioned key points to that. So I'm bringing it back around to there. So, and then Whitney, you can go first. Where would the first place you would go to find a record about an enslaved person?
I've been on.
Why are you even doing this? Why are you here, ma'am? I'm just really, I just really love the history about, Negroes, and I just wanted to, check the route to slavery. And why? You want to look up your own folks? You don't want to study you people? Figure that out. Anyway.
A lot of stuff, if you look specifically over the big names of like the genealogy websites like Family Search and Ancestry, they have specific African American genealogy pages. And one of them that I use quite a bit is on Family Search, their wiki page. They have African American genealogy, and it has like a list of resources, and then because there's hyperlinks to them, and there's also different states that you can click on. So if you know the specific state, you can click on the state they're in, and then it'll also send you a bunch of different resources for that state and kind of where you could look for things specifically to the state you're looking for with the counties.
Excellent. So Family Search Wiki, which people can Google also to find that. Dr. Seal, where would you go, or where would you recommend folks go?
I have no idea.
Perfect.
No.
Thank you. That's
idea.
the perfect answer.
I have no idea. I have, my great grandmother, who's buried in the cemetery here in Lincolnville, was enslaved on James Island. And
I hope she's not a geneticist. A genealogist, my bad, not a geneticist, a genealogist.
Several other early settlers. I have no idea. So I'm here to learn as well. I have as you can see, we are all here in Lincolnville. Maybe someone there will know, but I have no idea.
Nope, that is the perfect answer, because we want to make sure, and I'm coming to you, Lyle, to make sure that everybody, regardless if you're brand new to genealogy research or if you're experienced, we want to make sure we're sharing tips and things and hit.
I found the Family Search website she was talking about. I'm going to look it over to see if there's anything new, but I do see states, African American pages. Let me just click Oklahoma just to see what it shows, what kind of resources really quick. Online resources, the African American genealogy blog, African American digital bookshelf, a growing list of digital books on Family Search and other websites, Black Archives of Mid-America, Chronicles of Oklahoma, Encyclopedia of Oklahoma History, and Oklahoma Historical Society, African Americans. I know y'all can't see this, but you know what? I could have done this, my bad. As long as this doesn't mess me up. So yeah, online resources right here. We show Oklahoma Historical Society, African Americans, Freedmen Towns, Encyclopedia of History of America, and I'm looking for records in particular. Is this records or just stories? Because this just took me to a goddamn story. The Encyclopedia of Oklahoma History and Culture, African Americans, the History of Oklahoma, African Americans, blah, 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 westward expansion. This is just a story. How the hell is this going to help me find what the hell I'm looking for? Unless, let me just click up here. There were some resources, online resources here. The African American genealogy blog. It's a blog talking about old Choctaw plantation, part of Oklahoma. Anybody could have did this blog. How is this a resource? It looks like a resource for a particular family, and that's the end of the resource. What am I supposed to, how is this supposed to help me find my folks? Besides the records. That's the same shit. No, wait a minute. African American, a digital bookshelf. Well, what type of books? Okay, here goes some original records, but this is from Family Search original records. Okay, let's see, census compile, let's say church records. It's giving me some information. Baptist, who am I? It's a book, online book, hyperlink. African American, like I'm not finding. What the hell kind of resource is this, white person? Why'd I have to call her a white person? Let me just click on one of them. It's a book, the African Methodist Episcopal Church History DNSC. See, you can't just tell me something. I'm not gonna go look and click on it. Figure out what the hell you talking about. People just like to spash some shit out. Yeah, you can go get a lot of help on this website. There's tons of resources. Bitch, I don't see no goddamn resources. I don't even see what this is. Unless it's a resource telling me that I'm gonna have to actually order this particular resource. It's not something that's actually online. Yeah, it looks like it is. Well, no, it says Family Search Library, third floor book. So it's a book on the third floor. And what is this book about? In this book, Dennis Dickerson examines the long history of the African American Episcopal Church and its intersection with major social movements. What the fuck does that got to do with my genealogy getting me past the 1870 wall? Are these people insane? Look, man, you can't just spit something out, man, and say there's resources, dude. And maybe I'm just not looking at everything, but I should have been able to find something quick. Like, okay, this is where I search a name. That's what I'm looking for. Or these are the such and such records right here. Now, I thought I got that with this, but we can go to census records, but that's on Family Search. And even that is taking me to the National Archive Records and Administration. It's link after link until you get a page not found somewhere. The most pointless and useless as resource. But let's get back to the video.
That can help you with that. So Lyle, I'm going to throw it over to you.
Let's see what Lyle has.
Okay, one of the things, and this is a huge
He
if.
definitely ain't got a wife or a girlfriend. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Why Lyle could be good with the ladies. You never know. He could be he could be a stone cold player, okay, with the ladies. Let me shut up.
If you have a tiny shred of oral history, that's part of your foundation, even if it's.
We have more than a tiny shred. We have millions of us saying we've been Indians. But let me let Lyle cook.
It's a name, a geographic location associated with that particular name. That's kind of the foundation if you have it. And then next, as Dr. Shelley always tells us, start creating a timeline with what you have in front of you. And then you slowly start to work your way back. One of the things that I would suggest, if you have that name of Bonanza,
I would suggest that you talk faster, but whatever.
if you have that geographic location, just start with the Freedmen Bureau records. That's one place. Also, research the county or the parish where your ancestor was to learn as much as you can about the influential people of that county.
She said,
some of them may have.
She said, my locks are so long. I'm five, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 years in the game right now, Lola. May take a little time to catch up to your boy. Here they go with the hijack. Yeah, that's a hijack website for damn sure. Social movements have nothing to do with social movements. Social movements have nothing to do with social movements. I must have missed what the context was on that, Nikki. I'm trying to remember what I read. I might have read something or said something, or he might have said something.
Slaveholders. And so that way you can start learning the names of the slaveholders, even though you haven't made that firm connection yet. You start to, educate yourself about that region.
And that's when we come into knowing your community and making sure people go local. And I'm going to make one point before I turn it over to Darius. And the fact that, yes, there's a lot of online resources, and Whitney named a couple. You got Ancestry.com. You've got FamilySearch.org. You also have a site that's still up with a lot of information called Afrogenius.com. They also have
Afrogenius? Is that what she said? Afrogenius.com. I see afrogeniustech.com. It's called Afrogenius. Transform the way. Let me show y'all. Come on, OBS. Goodness. What the hell? What the hell was the problem just a second ago? I swear, man. Computers be pissing me off sometimes. This is Afrogenius. They said, let me go back to the home. We're going to see what she said about it. Transform the way you manage the business with IoT. Maybe she's talking about a different Afrogenius. Afrogenius, I need it. Maybe the place closed down already since this video came out. I didn't put afrogenius.com, so let me just do that and just see. But I ain't gonna let these people just say shit. Well, if it existed before, it don't exist anymore. And probably good riddance. So back to the video. Fuck about no Afrogenius.
People, for a lot of our ancestors, like speaking for myself, a lot of my ancestors were probably brought here in like the mid to the late 1700s.
You're starting off wrong already, and you threw in a probably because that means you don't have any information. You just going off the dome, Darius. You can't do that, Darius. You need proof, Darius. Okay.
For like most African Americans, if you can't get past the 1870 brick wall, then you
many of us can.
Might not never know where your ancestors came from, but we have stuff like, DNA testing.
Like, let me just show y'all real quick. This nigga just said DNA testing. I just caught that on the end. Let me just show y'all pretty quick on my own tree. First off, the website's tripping. 1805. Let me make this bigger. Get her off of there. Get her off. 1805. We're back with the Wambles to 1776. I'm back with the Tates to 1841. 1870 wall? That's one line. I'm back. That's 1820, 1790, 1713. Scott Rooster, Indians, 1790. 1870 wall? 1821, 1810, 1846, 1862, 1827, 1828, 1852. I mean, to be honest, I could go on and on and on. 1870 wall where? Now, maybe you might say 17. There really ain't no wall, okay? Really, there ain't no fucking wall. Quit bullshitting me, okay? Now, you may not be able to find documents prior to 17 or 8. No, you can find documents prior to 1870. That's what's up. How did I find these people if I didn't find documents past 1870? In fact, some of these people in my family are mentioned in many current day documents and books and shit like that. So, like, yeah, man. Come on, Darius. Let's be real, Darius. Something about that name. You just got to cuss a nigga named Darius out. All right, let's see if it'll start back where I started from.
And a lot of people get caught up on the percentages, this says I'm Nigerian and this and that. But many times people will still have relatives from Africa on their DNA matches. So if your mom takes the DNA test.
Many times my motherfucking ass. No, that is not the case. Maybe he does. Whoops. Hope they don't mess that up.
You see her on there, okay, yeah, that's my mom. And then if you scroll all the way to the bottom and you see somebody named I don't know, Musa Diallo, and he's from Senegal. Well, you and him have some type of common ancestor, which is why you and him still share DNA. And so I have
Maybe you share DNA with one, and I would like to see your tree. It's probably recent, like your mom, dad, or grandparents.
30 cousins that's in Africa. And so I'm
30 cousins? Yeah, it means it was recent.
pretty sure I know that my ancestor was taken from that family, and that's why that mean
Yeah,
those
she said
group
she's
of
thinking it's a
Africans.
grandparent. I'm thinking that too. Saying where are your tastes from? Most of my tastes moved up in Oklahoma. Before Oklahoma, they were in Mississippi, Gainesville, Texas. I said, you know what? I take that back. They were in Gainesville, Texas before they came to Oklahoma and Alabama. Gainesville, Texas, and then somehow they ended up in Oklahoma. But Texas, you can say basically Texas, Mississippi, Georgia, all through the South. My people pretty much have a direct migration pattern for like the whole. I want to call it some other than the Trail of Tears, but then nobody else would know what the hell I'm talking about.
DNA, but we do have records.
She said yours from Mississippi. Yeah, mine's Major Tate shows to be from Mississippi, born 1867. And then his father says Tom Tate, born 1841. And it wasn't until 1830 where the Dancing Rabbit Treaty was signed in the Mississippi area. 1808, after the Louisiana Purchase, wasn't even until they started even getting to that area. I'm almost back as far at 1841. I'm almost back as close as being there before the white folks came to the area, at least in that line. Some of my other people, I have people that were there for sure before white folks showed up.
For like the slave trade and stuff like that. Now, on one side of my family,
They said my folks up and through Alabama. Yeah, see, I got people. They started in Alabama. I might have some residual folks still out there, but everybody ended up in my family in Oklahoma. It's like all the people who chose to go, they all took off.
I do know where the slave owner was purchasing Africans from because I found them in the slave traders account book, and he was buying people from Sierra Leone and the Gambia River. And then I have cousins from there, and so it makes that's my mom.
Say it again.
And then if you scroll all the way to the bottom and you see somebody named I don't know, Musa Diallo, and he's from Senegal. Well, you and him have some type of common ancestor, which is why you and him still share DNA. And so I have over 30 cousins that's in Africa, and so I'm pretty sure I know that my ancestor was taken from that family, and that's why that mean those group of Africans, we still share DNA. But we do have records for like the slave trade and stuff like that. Now, on one side of my family, I do know where the slave owner was purchasing Africans from because I found.
Because even if you say one side, y'all got to think about it. One side of your family, I wonder what it looks like because, my bad, I'm going to have to do this. Because from you, it splits up a lot. So let's say when you get to here, you got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 20 or 22, somewhere like that. 22 people on this far right hand. Then that's going to split off to 22 different lines, which is going to, it's probably more than 22 or whatever it was, 20, whatever. But it's going to go into multiple different more lines. So it's like, where did you find this one purchased African? And does that one purchased African dilute all the people in this line? Now, don't get me wrong. If you found one African here, then everybody down that particular line, just that one line, technically would have African blood. But you got a lot of people married in, and now you would call that nigga admixtured, but not really. I mean, is it really admixture, or did the African just kind of get washed out after like 6, 7, 8 generations? Now, I don't mind you still claiming the African. I'm gonna claim my Indian, but let me just see what he says. I'm just saying, It's like, let's see what he said. Hold on.
And the slave traders account book, and it was
Slave traders account book. Is that a certain book? Slave traders account book. But it sounds like he's talking about his own person, like a personal slave trader account book. Slave trader account book. But I'm still going to see if there's anything like that. An account of the slave trade on the coast of Africa. I'm going to show y'all what I'm pulling up. My bad. We'll go here with it. A book published in 1788, an account of the slave coast of Africa. Well, I've never seen this. Let me first look and see if there was anything else. The slave trade account and its origin, if he's talking about any other book. An account of the slave trade on the coast of Africa. Project Gutenberg, Catholic University, no government source, but a book. A book nonetheless that is not obviously listed in the Library of Congress, otherwise it probably would have been on that page, because usually .gov sources will show up first, especially if I'm using such prominent keywords. Let me plug this in before this dies on me. But let's just skim the book for a quick. It's 60 pages. We'll do it like this, see if there's any quick estimation tables like that. You see how I like the sleuth? But Negro rooms, come on, what the hell? I hate when it does that. Storeroom in which there were not many Negroes placed. About 15 feet is what you need for your storeroom. And for your Negro rooms, you need about 45 feet for your male. Women's about 10 feet. Boys about 22. Why would women only need 10 feet? And why does men get 45 feet unless it's, and boys 22 feet? Total room for Negroes, 77 feet. Now, what are they talking about? I don't know. Let's look up a little bit further. That the public may be able to form some idea of the almost incredible small space so large a number of Negroes were cramped. The following particulars of this ship are given according to Liverpool Customs. Now, we don't have any information like slave ship manifest or anything on all of these ships or anybody or any like drawings of the ship in the book that shows an exact ship that I don't know. It's just saying. It's just talking about the dimensions. All right, let me just see if there's any other tables to see if it talks about any numbers of slaves. There's no tables. This must not be where he looked because I damn sure don't see no names. You can't time through this. Maybe he's talking about something different. Maybe he's talking about a particular account from his own particular slave master, and his slave master had a book called The Account of the Slave Trade. Because he can't be talking about this because there's no names. There's not really too many estimations. There might be an estimation on how many slaves is there. I wanted to at least see what it said about that, any numbers, just to kind of see if at least if it's in line with other numbers that I've seen or if it's just grossly just stupefied. But this ain't even really giving. I seen the word kidnapped and other shit. Like, it looks like a whole propagandist book. So I don't know. I don't see much else. So we'll just keep letting Darius spit whatever he gonna spit. But you know, I wish they would show the source. Well, I got my sources from. Let me pull it up. Here it is. You know, it would be just that easy, Darius, to show the source. But whatever.
buying people from Sierra Leone and the Gambia.
You say you're gonna be at Dallas Thanksgiving. Hey, okay, holla at your boy. We probably should do an interview. At least get it out the way, even though I still ain't got nowhere near close to starting this documentary. But the more interviews I can get out the way, the better. In fact, it's funny because today I was thinking about it. And I was like, man, I really need to go ahead and start like scheduling because I'm gonna have to fly to places. Cause it'd be dope to get some from Nikki. It'd be dope to get some from a lot of the TikTok folks, as well as people like Chief Warhorse. If I can get Chief Sekou, that would be dope. If I can get an interview with a couple others, like signs of the conscious mind, Los. If I can give interviews with Rashad, different people, the heavy hitters, Copper Cutie, stuff like that. I'm just gonna have to make my rounds, but I also want to get some people outside of TikTok as well. But it don't even matter to me. Like what I believe we need are documentaries. The only reason why Tariq is as big as he did some documentaries, and they were decent little documentaries for what it's worth, but definitely vastly missing some information. But I'm like, that's what we need. We need documentaries just as well to be in the main stage. I mean, to have them done and put on Amazon Prime. If you can get it, if I can get it into Hulu and other shit, I will. But some of those you got to be accepted into. Some of them are pretty easy to get into, like not Temu. That the nigga app channel. What is it called? Tubby. Yeah, Tubi. Stuff like that. So yes, I'm gonna send you some documents so we can. Cool. And people like Yaya CR the Great. I would love all y'all on there. But yeah, let's keep going on with this Darius nigga talking about.
And then I have cousins from there, and so it makes sense that on my DNA test I have cousins in Sierra Leone and Senegal and Gambia, where he was buying people from there. But stuff like that is it's kind of hit and miss, and so that's one of the unfortunate things for African Americans when it comes to finding where your ancestor came from in Africa. You're not gonna now. Some people were still alive on the census, the 1880 census or the 1870 census. If they were born in Africa, then they will put that they were born in Africa.
But how you tell them to send to Gambia if they just put the word Africa?
But the 1880 census.
And he's not wrong. I have seen Africa on a few census forms, but I'm still what do you call it? Not leery about it. I still question them because it's like you just throwing anything on there. Yeah, fuck it, throw that. It's like a census, because you think about it, census taker comes to the YT man's home, and they YT too, and they look over there. I see you got some Negroes over there. Yeah, okay. Well, where was he born? And he looks over at the nigga he bought from some random place. I don't know, Africa. Fuck it. I don't know. They don't fucking know.
The first one that asks for your parents' birthplace. And I've seen people who were still alive, they were born in South Carolina, but it says that one of their parents was born in Africa or both of their parents were born in Africa.
In which you can also do that as a search. So you can go to your county that you're looking, right? And I'm saying ancestry or family search, and put birthplace or the location and put Africa and just see what comes up for that county.
Not too much. In fact, I should have done it, but I ain't gonna do it. Do it for several counties and show. Yeah, it's not really pulling up too many. Okay. Well, that's because the documents have been destroyed.
And I think we've done that. Lyle, did you have something you wanted to add, or? Okay, so the other thing, and Dr. Seal, if you got a question, raise your hand.
Lyle ain't had shit to say.
I'm hoping we're covering enough stuff. So the census, again, is a federal document. There is a Census Bureau or a census.gov, and you can go get all of the census and the enumerator training guide, and you can look at the questions that are asked. So you want to...
I think I've done that before. What did she say? Census enumerator... what did she call it, guys? 4220. Let me go back here.
The census, again, is a federal document. There is a Census Bureau or a census.gov, And you can go get all of the census and the enumerator training guide.
Enumerator training guide. I think somebody had pulled these up once before. 1900 instructions, 1880 enumerator instructions. 1880, is that the earliest? We're going to look at that. 1920. Okay, let's look at the 1880. That book was a bunch of bullshit. 1880 instructions, and that for the 10 subsequent NB. And I to amend that, blah, 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 general instructions to propose, blah, blah, blah. Appointments of enumerators, duties of the enumerators, Indians, By the phrase Indians not taxed means Indians living on reservations under the care of government agents or roaming individually. Make that bigger for y'all. My bad, y'all. By the phrase Indian not taxed is meant Indian living on reservation under the care of the government agents or roaming individually or in bands over settled tracts of country. Indians not in tribal relations, whether full-bloods or half-breeds, who are found mingled with the white population, residing in white families, engaged as servants or laborers, or living in huts or wigwams on the outskirts of town or settlements, are to be regarded as part of the ordinary population of the country for the constitutional purpose of the appointment of representatives among the states, and are not to be embraced in the enumeration. Sounds like in 1880, they were told not to count people who didn't go to reservations who were either full blood or half blood. I wonder who those people were. People found mingled with the white population, residing in white families, engaged as servants or laborers, right? Or living in huts and wigwams on the skirts of out of town. That's pretty funny. Pretty damn funny. Dwelling houses, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Well, she was right. I'm not going to go into this one too much. There is the enumerator's instructions.
And you can look at the questions that are asked. So you want to look at that questionnaire, download.
Hold on, y'all. I got to redo it.
That so you understand and learn when you're looking at, say, the 1870 census. What are these questions? What are they pertaining to? Is because there's a time in the census, and I can't think of it right off the top of my head, that all the people under the person, it tells you that they're supposed to say how they relate to that head of the household. Because other than that, it's a guess. Just because there's a man and a woman doesn't mean that.
We're going to go for it.
So you're going to have to tap in to research them as well. So Darius, next one to you.
I was going to actually talk about the fan method.
Go ahead.
I think a lot of people, when they think of doing genealogy, they just think of their direct ancestors. But you also have to have the siblings of your ancestors. And so a lot of people ask me, well, how do you get 8,000 people in your tree? And I say, well, that's because I add my direct ancestors and their siblings. And everybody had 8 or 9 other siblings on each generation. And so it adds up. But
that really makes me wonder where he found the African. 8,000 people? Shouldn't you be telling me about a lot more Africans? Other than one? 8,000 on your tree? Yeah, don't get me wrong. Once you start adding in cousins and stuff like that, it could get that way. Me, I just mostly stay on the lines to go back. But eventually I was going to pay somebody to do the rest for me because I ain't got time for all that. But 8,000? Shouldn't you be seeing like gobs and gobs of African documents? Whatever. Okay.
Yeah, make sure you research them as well, because they could be the reason why you get to the next generation. Your direct ancestors may not have may not be documented in a lot of records, but maybe your direct ancestor had a sister or a brother. They have a death certificate and they list the parents' names. Now you back to the next generation because you looked at their siblings. But that's one tip that I would give.
True.
Lyle.
Come on,
I think
Lyle.
I can show while I say this. Just bring this up real quick.
And while you're sharing that, someone asked a question. It's mapping the Freedmen's with an S, Bureau.com is that site for the Freedmen's Bureau. So go ahead, Lyle. Thank you.
Okay, so we talked about, names, naming patterns, all these records, and then Dr. Shelley mentioned a death certificate. Don't get wed to a particular surname, a particular given name, because sometimes things could change. So real briefly, my second great grandfather, John Gilmore, is who I knew him by, but the oral history said at one time he went by the surname White. But just kind of going through this real briefly. So 1866 state schedule, he's enumerated as John White. 1867 voter.
He looked like a PowerPoint creating ass nigga.
Registration, John Gilmore. So just within a year, two different surnames, same person. 1870, 1880, Dale County, Alabama, John White and family. John White and family. But then when we get to the 1900 schedule, John Gilmore for 1910. However, if I look at the 1920 poorhouse, he's going to be John White. And if I look at the death certificate, sadly, he burned to death in a fire. If I look at the death certificate, it's John White. So if I didn't have the oral history that says he went by both, I would be missing out on key information. So the earlier records, John White, John Gilmore, but the last two records are John White. So it's important to contextualize not only your oral history, but now when you start to include those vital records, and I'm so fortunate, I have this vital record of one of my formerly enslaved ancestors. You really got to contextualize all of that information. And sometimes you have to step away from your research because you're going to be getting so much information. How do you process all of that? But vital records play a very important part in our research.
And it's like he really just took a long ass time to say, hey, I'm glad I had the death certificate because had I not had it, blah, blah, blah. But okay.
And I'm going to mention that there's the Midwest African American Genealogy Institute. That's the only institute in the United.
Hold on, I'm gonna see it. I'm really interested in what Darius had to say, but Darius don't look like he's showing his ancestry on here. I'm gonna go to this other one real quick to see if he shows his ancestry on it. Kind of skim through it, but how does AI know he showed his ancestry if even I'm not seeing his ancestry on this bitch? Let me go back.
Porch. And I remember my great grandmother, she like briefly spoke about this man. She said, I heard way back that someone was a Muslim. And I remember she mentioning his name. His name was Musa. But Musa is recorded in Daniel Blake Estate Inventory. And I believe that he was one of the men who were brought either from the Gambia River or Sierra Leone. And so
I started right on that bitch. So, what are you talking about?
We lost them.
Oh, you're back.
Oh, he was back for a second. Everyone watching, so sorry about all the technical glitches.
Yeah, yeah, we're not sure why this is happening. Okay, can you hear me? Say something, baby.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, have you angered anybody in your family?
I would say no.
Yeah,
I
he
don't think
is
I've
very
angered
vague,
anyone.
ain't he?
That's beautiful.
I would say early on, I remember, like some of my family members would say, like, no, leave that in the past. I guess some people would think that I would find out that maybe someone married a family member or something like that, but that wasn't the reason why I was doing it. I was in
Right.
it because I wanted to find out where in Africa my family came from. So
Right.
that's the way that I was looking at it.
And again, for the benefit of the audience, did you find an African ancestor?
Boy, I found the right spot. I just clicked right on this hour-long shit.
Yeah, so I do have some of the ship records for like the Blake family.
You can't. Now, I established that in the beginning. Where the fuck did you find the ship records? Let me let him cook. He ain't doing much of it.
So one of the earliest ancestors of the Blake family, his name was Daniel Blake. And Brian, I know you know of him because of the Middleton and Butler research and stuff like that. But Daniel Blake, he's recorded in Henry Lawrence, his account book.
Hold on, let me see what he said. Say that again. I'm about to Google that shit.
Those are Africans when they were brought here from Charleston. And so he was buying people.
Whoops, hold on.
Henry Lawrence, his account book.
Henry
One of the
Lawrence
earliest.
account book. Henry Lawrence, a slave account book. Henry Lawrence. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Lawrence. Account book, 1766 to 1773. I'm gonna show y'all what I got going on real quick. It's not opening this link. Or it's taking a moment to open. Damn. Low Country Digital Library. And it's not even pulling up. Let me just go to the Low Country Digital Library. Low Country Digital Library. Hell, the website itself ain't working. Ain't that a bitch? Recounting the hero. Let's see if I can find it in something else. This is on slave voyage. Well, no, it says it's on slave voyages. Or there's a screenshot of slave voyages. I bet it's. Look at that. Table of contents illustrative of the history of the slave trade of America. What kind of propaganda is this that was written, no publishing date? Negroes imported into South Carolina on page 310. Negroes imported into South Carolina 1755 314. Let's check this out. You want to know why I can tell this is already some bullshit? So first of all, you have slave ships. You see the vessel? There's captains, there's the source. The number of slaves always ends with a 0. Do you think that's coincidence? Or do you think they were just kind of throwing numbers out there? Like the other numbers that end in zeros like this. But there's firms. That's pretty funny too. Firms. Reason why I say there's firms and it's funny is because on one of my documents, I was studying into one of my Indians, and he said that in his freedman application, he said that, or during his freedman interview, he said that somebody said that they were unsure if the slave, my person, was owned by the Mitchell and Phillips firm or not. Now, I've been trying to look up the Mitchell and Phillips firm, and it's just kind of funny to see some firms there. But I didn't find hardly any information about the Mitchell and Phillips firm. But also, these numbers don't make sense. But let's see if we see names. Because if he tied himself to a ship, that means he should have seen the name on the ship. Now, this ain't the book that he was talking about. This is a different book. Because that book wasn't pulling up. But let me look at this book real quick. I don't trust anything in this bitch. There's not one slave ship manifest, no photocopy of a slave ship manifest, no nothing in this book. Just information that you just got to go with. That's not from a year that would give it a first-hand, make it a first-hand primary account, a resource. Like, it's okay if this is a book written during the time of slavery and the man is like writing down, look, man, I'm sitting here right now putting these slaves on the boat. That's a first-hand account. Like, okay, damn, niggas was getting on the boat. This is just like any other study. We need a study about Negroes coming on here from America, from Africa. I can write that study. As we can see, there's no concrete proof, and I don't even want to click on all of these, but we don't see names. There's firms, numbers, sources, captains, vessels, but this is not the same book. Let me get out of here. Yeah, this shit is crazy. And some of these boats look like they well past capacity too. Makes me wonder what type of boat. 260 people on what kind of boat? It don't even tell you the type of boat. It tells you the name of the vessel, but it don't tell you the type of boat. On all slave ship manifests, they tell you whether they're a schooner or a brigantine, or I think there's like one or two others. You ain't gonna throw me that information? Yeah, this is a bunch of bullshit. But let me see if I can find that book he was talking about. Lawrence. Let me type that in. Find on page Lawrence. The paper of Lawrence, the Henry Lawrence papers. Let's see if this will open it up or if it's going to take me to the same shit. Okay, Lawrence papers. But he said the Lawrence slave account. So the papers may not be the same thing. These are showing the microfilm roll numbers. You can find portrait of him. Let me try this one. The Papers of Henry Lawrence. Can I see the book? Borrow. What? Hold on, y'all. Let me just make sure I'm not tripping. Sorry, customer just booked one of my podcast studio businesses, and I think she might have double booked herself, right? If I'm not tripping. No, 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 no. She's day after tomorrow and tomorrow. Okay, okay. Deep Ellum. Let me just double check. I'm just checking to make sure that you are. Oh, she's already texting me actually. No, it's late. I just put the show tomorrow. I wanted to try the other set with the gray seats. So that particular one doesn't have the gray seats any longer, comma. It has black seats, period. And technically, we need to change out the TV, period. The current TV that's there is has some haziness on the screen, period. But it still can be used if you really want to, period. I can wait until you show up and we can check and figure out which one you want when you get there tomorrow. All right. The Papers of Henry Lawrence. Now, that's not the slave account, but is it the same thing? Let's see. Ah, crap. I knew it was going to make me have to do something. It's like I can get the book is in a bunch of universities. Why put the book just at universities? And why I got to borrow it from a university? That tells me already it's some bullshit. Fucking university. I don't know if I'm gonna find. I mean, the book should be on the Low Country website, but it's just not working. The whole website looks like it's fucking down. Oh, excuse me, y'all. Archive Henry Lawrence's slave account book. I'm gonna click a couple more links and then I'm gonna call it quits on this damn thing. Find that visual digital collection. You know what? Let me check the archives. Oh, Low Country Digital Library just pulled up. Let me do Henry Lawrence. Whoops. It will put an apostrophe S. Okay, sounds good. It's just their website is fucked up. It's trying to even just load a search. So yeah, that didn't take me nowhere. Let me try this one. Because what I'm trying to see is if this guy is lying. Did he see a name in this book that literally tied back one of his ancestors? That's really what I want to see. Because these niggas be lying. I'm going to have to keep checking this motherfucker until it show up one day. The website's got to eventually work. Henry Lawrence account book. We'll get at it some time to load. But let me let Darius finish whatever the hell he was saying.
Ancestors of the Blake family. His name was Daniel Blake. And Brian, I know you know of him because of the Middleton and Butler research and stuff like that. But Daniel Blake, he's recorded in Henry Lawrence, his account book. And that account book records the sales of Africans when they were brought here from Charleston. And so he was buying people from the Gambia River. He was buying people from Sierra.
When they was brought from Charleston?
And so when I was younger, it happened to be the day we was on the porch.
Hold on, y'all. The account book just popped up. Okay. Now, first things first, off of first visuals, it's a book. It's an old book, tattered pages, microfilm. I do like that and the fact that there's handwriting. Let's keep looking into this book. How many pages is this damn book? Before I go all through here. How many pages in this bitch? Does it even show the number of pages? Info? Don't really say. Uh-oh. Scan, okay. Full text. Nobody's transcribed it. Typically, let's see, pages, okay. It's a lot of pages. Let me find one that's not so fucking tattered up. It's not going forward. It's taking its sweet time trying to load is what it looks like. I'm gonna go through this. I ain't gonna do this completely on here. Like, my thing is, why didn't you bring this with you on this live stream? Why do I gotta go look up Henry Lawrence fucking account book, fucking go through all these tattered ass pages, and try to figure out where the fuck you found this information? That's what I'm really kind of getting at, is because he could have easily brought this document and said, look, this is my nigga's name on my tree, and here's him in my tree. I'm gonna give him just a little bit of second to explain, but
My great grandmother, she like briefly spoke about this man. She said, I heard way back that someone was a Muslim, and I remember she mentioning his name. His name was Musa, but Musa is recorded in Daniel Blake estate inventory, and I believe that he was one of the men who were brought either from the Gambia River or Sierra Leone, and so.
Okay, I read about Musa. Musa.
See, I wanted to give him his flowers too.
Yeah.
That's right. I know who Musa is.
Yeah, Musa. And because Daniel's father, Joseph Blake, I don't see Musa in his estate inventory. And so, his name is Arabic. He must have been one of those men that Daniel Blake purchased. And so there's even some runaway advertisements for many of the Africans who ran away from the Blake plantations on the Columbia River. And so Daniel Blake, he was buying a lot of the people from Africa. He was a routine customer of Austin and Lawrence. And then, I have a chart in my book of all the African names that you can find on his plantation. And they come from several regions. Some people came from Ghana. Some people were from Congo. Some people were from the Senegambia area. And so
my thing is, and I'm not going to play no more of this. I'm about to be done with Darius today. Let me show y'all what I found. It's starting to go through some of these pages, but let me flip over to here. I'm going to have to go through a lot of these because they're all random. And so far, these aren't even talking about the sale of slaves right here. This is random accountings of different things and sales. Sunday sale to Joseph Hutchinson, and nothing's talking about no Africa, and these aren't even named. There's William Fisher, his whatever, to General Commission sales charges, Jacob Mott, to Sunday duty gallons, whatever. Yeah, my thing is, we shouldn't have to do this. I shouldn't have to go chasing down the answers that you say you already found. He could have easily showed that. Account of rice to Sunday. Charlestown, South Carolina to Captain Richard. Henry Todd. There's a sloop. Is that the closest I can get? Sloop boat. You got sloops, schooners, brigantines. That's the other one I forgot. It was a sloop. There's names. Rice. Yeah, man, I don't know. I'd have to go through a lot, and there's quite a bit, and I will, to be honest. Now that I found this, I'm gonna take some time over some days and try to figure out. Let's see here. Charlestown, South Carolina, schooner, Boston, Bronton Island packet. The May Sunday to Alex Garten, James Stevens, Casper Springer, somebody McIntosh, William Brown. None of these names are African names. Schooner, Swanson, George something, Zaxby or something, George Bush. So yeah, like, he said that nigga's name was like Mufasa or some shit. I'm just seeing Thomas, James, Felonius. Yeah, I think I see Felonius. Yeah, Felonius. That's dope. We got a homeboy on her named Felonius. He calls himself Felonius. William Brown, Jacob, Caleb, Eaton. Like, I'm not seeing no African names, and I don't even know if these are people being shipped around or what. But shouldn't I be seeing African names in this bitch? Alexander, John, George, Dick, Gabriel. We even got a Gabriel, William, George, Edward Blake. Did he say his name was Edward Blake? Did he say something about a Blake? No, he said Mufasa or some shit. Hold on, what did he say?
Plantations on the Combahee River, and so Daniel Blake, he was buying.
Daniel Blake. I see an Edward Blake, but that's the person he said was buying.
The people from Africa. He was a routine customer of Austin and Lawrence. And then, like, I have a chart in my book of all the.
Daniel Blake, Blake was in the Henry Lawrence book. So I see a Edward Blake, but I'm still not seeing no African names. See Samuel Johnson. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go through this bitch, but Daniel Blake. Oh, he said Edward Blake, right? I done got it mixed up.
There's even some runaway advertisements for many of the Africans who ran away from the Blake plantations on the Combahee River. And so Daniel Blake, he was buying a lot of the people from Africa.
Well, here's the Daniel Blake name. The fuck is he doing right here? Charlestown, South Carolina. Account of rice. To find whatever. I see Daniel Blake. These aren't no African names. James, Darby, other people, and I can't really tell what some of this stuff over here is. But yeah. I don't believe it. I'm only gonna believe it when I see it. I can only believe it if I see it. And I'm not seeing African names. I'll go through this book. I ain't gonna go through the whole thing on this live stream. I done extended out this live stream way longer than I really expected, to be honest with you. Let me just check to see where I'm at on the apps. Little app check. That's what's up. Twitter doing pretty good. TikTok, some of the folks done dipped out. I ain't mad. And my YouTube, probably just got a couple. Ain't too many people on the YouTube. Let me just double check the YouTube streets. But yeah, so yeah, man, all in all, ooh, I gotta watch that. All in all, probably just got a couple. Yeah, 4. All in all, that's what I came here for. The main thing for today's topic was to show that slave ship manifest and tie yourself back to some African is really hard. So everybody that comes up and tries to say that that's something that they've done are lying in most cases. I still believe he might be lying. But if I do find the Mufasa name up in here or some African names, I'll take it back and I'll say, look, there are some ways in small accounts that you can find vaguely with the information in there. But as far as slave ship manifest, and still, this may or may not tie him to a boat. But it might, because it does list boats and shipments in here, because they're talking about shipments of rice. So there could be other things as well. But all in all, if you want to tie yourself back to a slave boat, you're going to have to find the documents. And in many cases, that's hard to do because not that many people really came from over there. They'll tell you it's because they destroyed documents, but I believe it's because nobody really came over here from there like that. Not that many. So anyways, I appreciate y'all being here on the live stream. I know this was kind of long, but we came in there and we got in there with the facts. I'll be looking more into this book to see if I see any Africans, and maybe it'll prompt me to do a whole nother live stream. Either way, I will be doing a little video about it. So I'll holler at y'all. Y'all have a good evening. Appreciate